This was our Odroid H5 computer at the end of the last video. In today's video, we're going to make some changes to the frame to finalise the position of the overhead fan, and add a second fan, plus complete the fascia and power button. The overhead fan is a little high above the heatsink to optimise cooling, so I'm going to lower it by a centimetre. We can achieve this by using the Maker Beam corner cubes to mount the two struts holding the fan below the top of the frame. Using these aluminium struts does give you a great deal of flexibility when designing your case. The corner cubes can be attached to the top of the frame using a small nut that slides into the groove cut into the strut. This allows the other side of the corner cube to be attached to the struts holding the fan. With the 4 corner cubes now in place, the existing right angle brackets can now be removed, and the struts holding the fan can be reattached to the new corner cubes. So now we can reattach this subassembly to the top of the frame, allowing our top fan to be that bit closer to the CPU's heatsink and improving airflow. There is now a much reduced gap between fan and heatsink. As the Odroid board only has a single fan socket, I'm going to use a Y cable splitter, which came with the top Noctua fan to allow a second fan to be added at the back of the frame. This will be an extractor fan, pulling the hot air out of the back of the rack frame this assembly will sit in. So now that we have added the second fan and connected it via the Y splitter cable, we can add some rubber feet to the frame. We can now move on to the fascia and the power button. The power buttons can be purchased fully wired up from Odroid, and these are remarkably sturdy buttons. The GPIO pins these connect to doesn't appear to have changed from the previous H4 generation. I've also purchased one of the power cables from Odroid to allow the mains power to be routed to the rear of the frame, although I did have to source an appropriate socket separately. I've mounted this socket through some perforated polypropylene at the rear of the frame. The next step is to cut the perforated polypropylene to size, with a cutout for the sockets and also the power switch. Once I was happy with this, came time to spray the fascia with red Plastidip and mounted the power switch, giving the final look to the H5 Odroid. I need to order up a new rack for this to fit it into, and in the next episode we'll be installing Windows and putting this computer through its paces. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching today's video. Please feel free to click on the link in the description below to discover more videos.